Here is the NEX6. It's a very compact camera. This camera was released 11 years ago. It features an Exmor APS-C HD CMOS sensor. Here is the sensor with a maximum resolution of 16.1 megapixels. In speed priority mode, this camera is capable of taking 10 frames per second. In normal mode, it takes up to 3 frames per second. It is a very compact camera. Here is the NEX5T next to it, the NEX3. This is the original NEX3, and the NEX5, the original one. Here is side by side comparison. As you can see, there is one very important, significant difference between these four cameras. Only the NEX6 has a electronic viewfinder. This is a 2.4 million dots OLED electronic viewfinder. Another great feature of this camera is the hot shoe mount. As you can see, the other cameras have only the proprietary Sony hot shoe mount, the standard MPFW50 Infinitium 7.2 volt batteries. Here is the battery inside my camera. It's an original Sony MPFW50. The SD card goes next to the battery, which is not the optimal position for an SD card, but I guess it still works. It's much better when the SD card is outside, for example here under this flap. The A5000 has its SD card in here, but it's not a super big deal. You just push it into place and you're good to go. Here is the menu of this camera, the old Sony menu. Most settings are under setup. One of the most useful features of this camera is the focus preview. Here it is. You can select different peaking levels, different peaking color. This is very useful when you're using a vintage lens, for example, or just any manual focus lens. The Emount system is one of the most popular systems nowadays, and there is an adapter for almost all vintage lens mounts. It's very easy to adapt vintage lenses on the Sony Emount system. Just go to one of the Chinese websites like AliExpress, for example, and type in Emount lens adapter. You'll get hundreds and hundreds of results for the different vintage cameras and camera mounts. This is one of the best systems for vintage lenses. This camera also has a built-in flash, a tiny one. It allows changing the angle It's not a very powerful watch, but for close shots, when your subject is close, it does a good job, like a viewing flash, to pull the shadows a little, but just a little. It's a tiny flash. This is why you have the hot shoe here. The grip of this camera is very comfortable. Here is compared to the other cameras. The grip compared to the NEX5T is just an idea, a tiny bit bigger, and it is more ergonomic. There is a place for your fingers, while this is completely flat. It is the same when compared to the older NEX5 and the NEX3. The NEX3 has a very small grip. Some people like it like this. I personally prefer more pronounced grips, like the one on the NEX6. The button position is, the shutter button position is very good. The function button is easily accessible. Okay, let me show you some pictures taken with the Sony NEX6. Enjoy!